another tutorial on for loops. Now with for loops, what we're going to do, we're going to look at the different types of for loops, the reasons why we use for loops, and we're going to look at the range function within for loops. I'm going to look at breaking out as well. Now the reason why you would use a for loop, so let's just have a look at an example. Now a for loop, you usually would use it within a list. So let's just imagine that we've got some fruits, we've got in there apples, we've got bananas, and so have let's just say pears. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to be able to loop through each one of those. So a for loop is usually useful when it comes to knowing what your how many times you're going to go through it, so something that's already there. So for example, we could have 4x in fruits, so we end up calling this one here, we're going to print out. Now x is just a variable, it could be any variables. We're just going to print out each one, so we're going to go print and then we're going to go x. Yeah, okay, get rid of this stuff. Now what you should see, if I run this F5, you'll see that it prints out each of the items x within this particular drag that across each one, so you can see it prints out each one. That's quite useful. We could also have a condition in there. So for example, we wanted to break out with something like if x equals banana, spell that correctly, bananas, we could just literally print it and then break out. So print up to apples, I presume it will do that, and then shift out of it and break out of it. So let's just put that within text, right? So remember, it has to be indentation here. So let's try running that. So this is how you would use the break for this scenario. So you can see it's found up to banana, and it just stopped printing out here, printed out that one. So if it was that x equals banana, we're going to print it out. We could even put that out here, so just before the if statement, it's going to print out each one, and then it's going to soon break out. So let's have a go at this F5. So it should print out apples and bananas and then stop there. It shouldn't print out pears. As you can see, it hasn't. Now we could do this with numbers as well. So let's just imagine there's marks, students got certain marks, and we'll get rid of these quotations because it sizes this text. So let's just say 12, 30, 43, 55, and then 70. We could again use the same thing. 4x, that's any variable, you could call it whatever you want, and then marks the same variable name. In marks, we want to print out each one. So what you should see, if I run this one, see that, as you can see, 12, 43, 55, and 70 is printing out each one of those. Now you could also remember, this one here is printing out each one. There is a function called range where we could print out perhaps a certain value. So let's just give you an example. So for x, and then we use the range function. So you write in range, so open bracket like so, and we could 10. Oh, we haven't got that many values, so we'll just say 4. 4 values in there, and we want to print out marks. So here we need to start thinking about how to print out for that particular value. So here it's not linked to this list here, not linked. So we need to link it somehow. So the way to do that is to put print marks and then square bracket the x. So now it should print out each one. So let's just run this one, see what happens. So we run that. We should see that it prints out each one. So it's 4. So let's just say I don't want to print out the 70. I change that value to 3. I run that. Oops, sorry. Let me just run that again. Run, and then you'll see that I've only printed out 12, 43, 55, and I've skipped out 70. So it's running from here 0, 1, 2. So basically counting 1, 2. Basically for this value here. Now let's just say I wanted to print the last 3. There's a way of doing that as well. Now to do that, all you have to do, the last 3, so we want to do from 1 and then comma, then 4 maybe. Let's try this. 2 to 4. Let's try. So 0, 1. Well, we'll try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see where it takes us. Usually you get trial and error here. So we've got 55 and 70. So we're only picking up this one and this one. So if we was to change that to 1, we should be able to pick up the last 3 values. As you can see, 43, 55 and 70. That's the last 3 of this particular list. So that's quite useful as well. Now you could also obviously if you put 0 here, you're running all of them. So you could even have it like that and it would all of them anyway. Now you could do various things with this. Now you could even let's just say, for example, you wanted to increase each value by 1. So let's just say, for example, go marks square bracket x and then copy that plus, I don't know, let's just say 10. So we increase each value by 10 marks. Let's just see if this works. Give it a go. As you can see, the first over here the value was 12. Here's 22. This was 43. You can see has actually increased each value by 10. So that's one quick way why you would use a for loop if you wanted to get access to these indexes in a particular list. Something you can also do is have a nested for loop. That's quite common in programming. So for example, if we was to just change this back to fruits, let's just put it back to apple. And then we just say colors, for example. Colors, we have another particular and red and yellow. So you could have a nested for loop within this. So for example, fruits, like so, for x fruits, gonna go literally for y, we're just picking any variable. Colors, so what it does for each one of these, it starts running another one of these. So we're gonna go print x y. See if that works. Hopefully, let's give it a go. Right, so you can see apples red, apples yellow, bananas red, bananas yellow. So you don't really get that. So let's so y and x. So you probably, when you run this, see what happens. Red apple, yellow apple. What's happening? So for each fruit, we are printing out each color, as you can see. Yeah, each fruit color. All right. So again, red bananas, yellow bananas. Okay, so this is a nested loop, and this is quite useful as well. It's definitely something that you can use whenever you have lists that are related some way. I think in programming though, most cases, a range is definitely something that's useful. Then you can end up controlling how much you wanna go through. So you could, each one you could do it from the beginning, skip the middle, skip the beginning. So for example here, let's just put in that. So here we just want to get from the first 2, for example. You'll see what ends up happening. So if we if we run that how it is, you should be able to run what happens here. So you got yellow, print 0 is printing y. So this is, again, because it's slightly different, what you need to do here, this scenario, because x is using a range, have to put, for example, comma, square bracket, and then you should see something slightly different. So then you could compare the differences. So whenever you're using a range, you must refer to the name list of the name. Okay, I'll give that a go. Hopefully that is useful for you. Now if you have any other questions or suggestions, please feel free comment area. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Look out for the next tutorial.